Pioneers. My name is Connor Morrison.
And my name is Jessica Elvin. Welcome to the Grid.
Over spring break, boys lacrosse played 3 games, winning against Dublin Scioto and unfortunately losing to Pickerington Central and Dublin Jerome.
Also during break, softball won 2 of their 3 games with wins against Johnson Monroe and Reynoldsburg, with their 1 loss coming against North Union. Unfortunately, boys volleyball lost all 3 of their games over break. On Wednesday, 8 players from New Jersey Devils and New York Rangers were assessed fighting majors and ejected after a fight broke out only 2 seconds into the game. This is the second quickest fight to take place at Madison Square Garden. The quickest one was 1 second long, or 1 second in the game. Now let's throw it over to Maddie to take a deeper look into the boys lacrosse team.
Hey Pioneers, today we are taking a look into this upcoming lacrosse season.
What's up guys, I'm Dawson. I'm a senior captain on the boys lacrosse team. This season I'm most excited just to play without worrying about anything. I want to set the record for most career saves. Right now it's at 510, I'm at 428. So hopefully I get there by the end of the season. The game I'm most excited for is definitely the Berlin game this year. We lost in quadruple overtime last year, and it's our senior night this year, so we definitely can't lose that one. And then what I kind of want the season to look like, I want us to go far in the playoffs, and I want to see a lot of team growth. It's just we're not where we need to be yet. So a lot of hard practices coming up and a lot of hard games. So hopefully we get to where we need to be. I'm excited for what's to come in the season. I just want to see a lot of great things.
That's all I have for you. Now back to the desk.
On Wednesday, boys volleyball lost to Liberty in 3 sets. Yesterday, the team unfortunately lost again against Westerville North in a close game, 2-3.
Also on Wednesday, both boys and girls lacrosse lost to Upper Arlington. The boys unfortunately lost 19-5 and the girls lost 12-1. Both teams look to get back on track over the weekend. The boys face off against Strongsville, while girls will play a district rival Olentangy Berlin.
All right, now it's time for our Pioneer Pick'em section. So before break, we had our show on March Madness. We went through some of our first round picks. Now here we are in the Final Four. What do you think? What's been some of your biggest surprises so far?
For sure, NC State. I think everyone's a little shocked by that, beating out Duke and Houston back-to-back. They got DJ Burns, the big fella. He's been really fun to watch. They've been really fun to watch. I've really enjoyed that. That's been a big surprise. Really, besides that, also Alabama. I did not expect to be in the Final Four. I also wish they were not in the Final Four. But beating UNC was really impressive. Beating Clemson after Clemson having a great run. I will say they got a little lucky that Arizona got knocked out by Clemson. But overall, I'm pretty surprised by Alabama. UConn, I expected it. Purdue, I also expected it. So, yeah, that's really the only surprises. But there's been a couple of upsets, but those are the main 2.
Yeah, for me, I think NC State definitely was definitely the biggest surprise in this tournament. I think most people agree on that. Alabama, I agree with you. I thought that they were pretty good. I didn't think that they would make it too far just because they don't have a whole lot of defense. And then Purdue, I'm actually pretty surprised that they made it to the Final Four just because, after last year they lost to a 16 seed and then I didn't expect them to go far. I expected them to go a little farther. They had a pretty easy schedule, but I didn't expect much from the team after last year. So,
yeah.
So then what do we think about these Final Four matchups?
Well, I would say that UConn is going to beat Alabama. I would say this game will be close in the first half, most likely a 30 point, both teams in the 40s or 30s. And then I think UConn has a big run. What they did against Illinois, having a 30-point run was
absolutely crazy.
Yeah, it was insane. And I've never seen a team just go out in the second half like they did and just absolutely dominate. They held Terrence Shannon, who's averaging 30 in the tournament, to 8 points, which is ridiculous. Mm-hmm. Their defense is insane. Their offense is really good passing. So I got UConn to beat Bama. I think Bama might have a little bit of a shot in the first half, but I just think UConn is the best team still. And so, yeah, they're going to beat Bama. And then sorry, what about you?
Yeah, I agree. I'm taking UConn. I think that they were quite honestly a Final Four lock for me. I think I had them in my Final Four in every single bracket. They're just absolutely dominant on both sides, on offense and defense. And I think that playing Alabama, obviously they have a super good offense, but not very good defense. So I think that's going to be the main decider there because UConn's so good on both sides of the basketball.
The other game is the one I'm more excited about. I'll let you start off with this one. NC State and Purdue. This is a great matchup. Zach Edey versus DJ Burns. Who you got in this one?
Honestly, I think that this Cinderella run for NC State has been amazing, but I think that just because of how dominantly Zach Edey is in basketball and how much he gets fed from that Purdue team, I think that they'll probably be able to win against NC State. I think NC State will keep it close. It'll be an entertaining game to watch. I don't really like the style of Purdue basketball that much, but it works for them. So I think that that's probably going to be the result there with Purdue making it to the final.
I completely agree. I think it's Zach Edey versus DJ Burns. Both guys have been game changers for their team respectively. Zach Edey having 40 points, 40 points, 13 rebounds, or 16 rebounds actually, against Tennessee. Had a really clutch block on Dalton Connect, who was having a great game. Zach Edey is... he's bigger. He's 300 pounds, 7'4". You can't stop that unless you are, in that size.
Yep.
DJ Burns, 6'9", 275 pounds. So he's a big dude. But I think that size differential is going to be the game changer for Purdue. I think that these two, it's really going to come down to them. And I just see Purdue coming out on top. And I think it will be a decently close game. But I think Purdue comes out on top and makes their way to the finals.
I agree there. And then so we both have UConn and Purdue in our final game. We can talk about that a little bit too. I think in that game, I really think that UConn has a pretty good chance to repeat. I don't really know who I would take for sure yet. I haven't thought too much about it. I think Purdue is good, and Purdue could definitely be the biggest rival to UConn as far as keeping it close. No one's really kept it close with UConn so far in the whole tournament.
Yeah, I wanted to bring up a little fact. So they have played 11 games in the tournament. This will be their 11th game coming up. They have not had a game within 10 points. And not even 17 is the closest team that's coming to beating UConn in the past 2 years, which is, we have never seen a domination like this before. So I'm going to go UConn. It's the best team versus the best player. And at the end of the day, basketball is a team sport, it's not an individual sport. I think Purdue will keep it close for the most part. I think it'll probably be within 10 points. I think this is the only team that can, because Zach Edey is unstoppable. But at the end of the day, I think that we'll see the Huskies out on top, and I think they're going to be a back-to-back national champion.
Yeah, I like that. I like that you said it's team sport versus one-player sport. Zach Edey's really all of Purdue's team for the most part versus Purdue, or UConn just has an amazing offense and defense. They've got good players in all different spots. So yeah, I'll take UConn there as well.
All right, we're glad we're in agreement.
Yep. So one last thing. Yesterday, the Texans have spent all offseason loading up, and the Bills have spent all offseason unloading. On Wednesday, they became trade partners. Buffalo sent Stephon Diggs and a pair of late-round picks to Houston for a 2025 second-round pick selection. The Texans now have one of the most high-powered offenses in the league, with wide receivers Stephon Diggs, Nico Collins, and Tank Dell, running back Joe Mixon, and young star QB CJ Stroud. That's all for our show this week. Thanks for tuning in. Once again, I'm Connor Morrison.
And I'm Joe Scolvin. Make sure to support your Nears in action this week. Have a great weekend, and roll Nears.